Hey guys, so you ready for today's October 12, 2020, 12:27 a.m. Central Time. How to find out if SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, will be packed, aka expanded. The Biden campaign obviously is ignoring this question. In fact, Biden himself the other day said a couple things. One, the people do not deserve to know, okay? And two, they will find out after the election because he doesn't want it as a major headline in all the newspapers. Arrogant statements to be made by a presidential candidate. And both are obviously very wrong. But Harris, on the other hand, is avoiding answering the question whatsoever. If you watch the VP debate, when Pence put her in that situation, she brought it to race. Big surprise. She does that in the Senate all the time. So she avoided it as well. Here's the deal. It's very simple. In the recent past, as recent as we can go here, the SCOTUS, the number of judges has not changed in over like 150, 160 years, something of that nature. Don't quote me on that, but it's a very long time. Over a century, okay? The last time that it was thought to be packed, okay, was FDR, a Democrat president who did not appreciate how SCOTUS was ruling on cases and wanted it to become more of an activist situation, which SCOTUS has been pretty activist, if you will, since about the 60s or 70s is when it started to go really downhill. And we had a very activist panel until Ginsburg passed away. And now Amy Coney Barrett is going to be starting her hearings tomorrow, which, side note, everyone that's on my Elite Patriot account, that's EP, for Patreon, I will be recording that entire hearing, as I've let you guys know, and uploading sections of it throughout the day, throughout the week, because it's going to be continued for like 4 days. So side note to my Patreons. But beside the point, if Amy Coney Barrett gets through and gets on the court to replace Ginsburg, the left is already losing their mind, right? Which is why this has come up, okay? Because the left is ready to do it. Left is ready to do it. They're raising their hands, are ready to do it. Moderate Democrats pretty much don't want to do it, aren't answering the question, kind of avoiding it. This is how you find out whether SCOTUS will be packed or not. Just as FDR couldn't do it by himself, and his Democrats who cared about the Constitution and cared about the country at the time, unlike the ones now, pushed back on him and didn't allow it. In order to expand the Supreme Court, it requires legislation, an act, not a resolution, an act, which means it's a law. It has to go through the House, has to go through the Senate, has to be signed by the president. It's not something that can be done through an executive order or anything else. So it's very simple. Ask your representative and ask your senator, how do you feel about court packing the Supreme Court? Be very specific. Because the Democrats in the last 24 hours have gotten creative for the ignorant American out there, saying that the GOP has already packed the courts, meaning like the circuit courts and all that stuff, the vacancies that were left behind by the Obama administration. The GOP are filling them and have been filling them since Trump got into office. That is not packing the court. That is simply filling a vacancy. Packing a court means adding additional seats. So make sure you say it correctly so they know you know what you're talking about. And with that being said, that does not take Biden and Harris off the hook. They need to answer it, because they can push the issue down the road. They can lobby like hell, put people in awful situations, especially as time goes by during like a 2022 race that could come around for the House and many senators that'll be up, putting them in ugly situations, trying to get their agenda put through. So just because your senator and representative says no today doesn't mean they won't get lobbied down the road, but it puts them on record. And that's what you want. That's what senators and representatives hate to be, on the record, which is often why when a controversial vote comes up in the Senate or the House and it has no chance of passing, they will simply not vote. They will vote present, or they will literally not vote. They actually can't count those as not votes. So they don't like being on the record for anybody, for any reason, period. So ask your representative and your senator how they feel about that today, especially the people who your senators are up for election. Ernst is up for election. Collins, Tillis, Graham, some of these senators that are in trouble right now. Ask them how they feel about it, and maybe they'll get it in their head they need to ask their opponent about it. Or better yet, if you're a Republican and you want that other candidate to lose, go ahead and ask that other candidate who's running against those senators, hey, how do you feel about court packing by Biden? How do you feel about that situation? Even if Biden doesn't agree with it, do you agree with packing the court if Amy gets through? How do you feel about it? Just keep pushing it till you get an answer, because it will kill their fucking campaign is what it will do. This is Are You Ready For It? Take care, guys. Have a great day.